Okay, here's Lumino, and goodness, I'm just obsessed with this horse. I'm just always so in awe of these thoroughbreds and the things that they'll do for us just because we ask them to. And Lumino is especially cool because he's 9 years old this year. Technically he's still 8, but he's coming 9. And he was a breeding stallion for the last several years, and he hasn't been ridden in 4 or 5 years. And this is probably I'm going to say this is like his seventh or eighth ride now. So since he's come back into work for about 2 weeks now. And we took him to Aiken with us, and he has spent the last 4 or 5 days doing some hacking and trail riding at Hitchcock Woods. Billy rode him a few times, and I rode him yesterday, and he's just been absolutely nothing but perfect and fantastic and a joy to have and ride. And so today, we took him to Sandy Hills. I brought Sunshine and Seven over to Sandy Hills to do some schooling, and so it made sense to bring him over. He's so ready to do some ground pulls and some little teeny tiny jumps. He just did some X's, but he was unbelievable. I mean, his brain through this whole experience has been more and better than you even could expect from a horse, honestly. So we hauled into Sandy Hills. The trailer's parked probably 100 or 200 feet away from this ring. He was the first one out, so he came off the trailer, got tacked up. I got on. Obviously, I mean, I hope this goes without saying, but obviously, I'm not lunging this horse before I ride him. He had to hack to this ring down a racetrack alongside a pond. And obviously he's all by himself in this ring. He's never been here before. It was super windy the other day, so jumps and everything are blown over, and it's just a hell of an atmosphere to put a horse into that hasn't worked in years and years. And now I've just hauled him to Aiken and we're doing all this new stuff, and the horse is just absolutely perfect. So before we started trotting around over all these poles, obviously we walked over everything first, and he was excellent for that. And so then the idea is just to let this be super easy and fun, and we just want this to be nothing but a good experience for him. And of course, that's sometimes easier said than done, but with a horse like Lumino, who just has such a quiet, easygoing brain, it actually is really easy to achieve that. So he was not spooky at all about being in this ring around all these jumps and things blown over. None of that bothered him. He just marched right out there and took a look around and got right to work. So that part just made it so easy. So here we are, we're trotting down this grid that's obviously just all poles, but he's of course never put things together before, so he just wanted a moment to walk and assess things and just slow it down a little bit so he could be sure of where his feet were going. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He never lost the forward intention of, intending to move forward and finish. He just needed some extra think time, and so I'm more than happy to give him that. What a smart horse. So now we're trotting back and forth over a little pile of poles with the flower boxes in it. And he's being excellent about that. And at this point, I'm thinking I would love for him to start getting the idea of cantering away from these things. And so I'm kicking and I'm squeezing and I'm huffing and I'm puffing. And there actually, so that was the first time he had tried that little half X. And he was a super good boy and he did it. And obviously he made a little mistake and, didn't really understand the mechanics of it. But look at that. This is the next one he went to, another half X, and he learned super quickly and put it together. And so he hasn't really landed in the canter yet, but he actually just did a beautiful left-leg canter transition there. So he did that second half X really nicely, but came away trotting. So now I'm hoping that I'm going to help explain this to him a little bit better by encouraging him to canter. So he did a great canter transition. We had a little lope around that side of the ring. We came back to the trot to trot this X again. I'm hoping he's going to land in the canter. And a little bit of kicking on the backside to make it happen. But sure enough, he did. And so that was a really big light bulb moment for him. And so my friend Martha's here, and she's helping me with him with this school, which is always awesome to have someone on the ground who can help you. And so she's telling me to gallop, which of course he's not going to gallop. He's just going to sort of do a normal working canter. But that's his version of a gallop. And we're just trying to get the energy level up, and look at how cute he just cantered over that X. I mean, oh my goodness, what a start. It's so easy when they're just this easy to sit there and look smart. So we come back around. That was a little bit tighter distance, but he's just so smart at figuring this out. He's a big horse and he's long. but he was super clever about figuring out that little bit of a tighter distance and just unbelievably willing. I mean, besides kicking, which obviously I'm kicking, but besides kicking, I'm doing very, very little to help him. It's not requiring a lot of steering. It's literally just me sitting still and kicking. And so smart just to canter up over that X. We wanted to turn right after that, which is why we sort of came to the stop because we landed on the left lead. And look at that unbelievably good canter transition to the right. Goodness, I just love this horse. He's lovely to ride. I mean, he just rides around like a big old luxury Cadillac with every possible extra thing added on to make it as cool as possible. So this is our gallop to the right. This is him going as fast as I can possibly get him to go, which is just so funny. And again, what a little champion coming around in the right. And he's so good about maintaining the lead, actually. Really smart about always landing on the same lead. Anyway, so we called it a day with that. I mean, seriously, what more could you possibly ask from a horse on their first introduction to jumping on a field trip within a field trip? What a champion. So there's this really cute little cross country field in the same at the same farm. And so we thought that since really that little intro to jumping only took maybe 10 minutes, we would just walk out here and see what he thought about the water jump. And at first he wasn't sure about the water jump. We walked it around it a few times. He eyed it suspiciously. But then when he walked in, he actually thought it was super fun and he didn't want to get out. So that was really cute. So I think just all in all, a really awesome experience for him. He saw a lot of new stuff and good. I just have all the confidence in the world in this horse. He is just absolutely lovely.